brand station. This is your 1017 The Truth News Update.
Hello, everyone. This is Rhea Riley with your news update. One person is in custody after a fire at the downtown college. Surveillance video showed the person intentionally set a chair on fire on the third floor of the student center at Milwaukee Area Technical College around 6:40 a.m. Tuesday morning before fleeing. Two employees quickly put out the fire, but it did trigger the sprinkler system, causing water damage throughout the building. Milwaukee police arrested the suspect later that afternoon and is recommending arson charges. The student center remains closed on the downtown campus today, making more administrative cuts within Milwaukee Public Schools. Superintendent Dr. Brenda Casilius plans to eliminate 31 positions in the central office as part of her reconstructuring plan. She says these cuts will focus more support on teachers and students.
We would look at the job-embedded positions in this actual school building to be able to support our teachers, and they'll always then have somebody right at hand to be able to support their instruction in the classroom.
As part of the reconstructuring, Dr. Casilius also eliminated regional superintendents and intends to hire a chief operations officer. The use of cell phones will be out of the school's control and into the hands of the state. State lawmakers are debating a bill to add Wisconsin to the growing list of states banning K-12 students from using cell phones in schools while class is in session. The bill proposes that school boards adopt a uniform cell phone policy with exceptions for emergencies, health needs, and educational purposes. The bill would require schools to implement cell phone policies by July 2026. This has been your news update. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on the new 1017 The Truth.
Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of adjustment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. So, interesting show today. I'm going to talk about my favorite topic. Can anybody tell me what it is? Can anybody figure out what it is? You got it. MPS. And I talk and complain about MPS because I like and care about MPS. I think public education is one of the most important things that we have in America. It's one of the things that we give citizens through taxpayer dollars that they don't have to do anything for, pay anything for. They just have to show up and be educated. So some changes were made at MPS recently that I look at and I found good. Now, there are a lot of people who are complaining and screaming and hollering. A lot of people that were upset, which I find interesting. So as you know, the other day, they accessed 181 academic positions. And of course, the teachers union blew up. It's an attack on teachers. That's what the Milwaukee Teachers Education Association is calling the new superintendent's most recent decision to restructure positions at the central office. The move impacts 181 positions, and it means some of them will move into the classrooms. Now, we've been crying about teachers in the classroom. We've been crying, and we got all these positions with the central office. Duplicate positions. Multiple positions. Well, now, Dr. Brenda Casalius, Milwaukee Public Schools Superintendent, talks about the need to fill vacancies and that the decision will, overall, be a better outcome for students. But the teachers union, as always, says it's a violation of workers' rights. Idiotic comment. You know, last week it was Teacher Appreciation Week. I appreciate you so much, I'm going to put you back in the classroom. But the teachers union president doesn't feel like the superintendent decision to violate seniority rights of MPS workers is an attack on every single worker and student in this district. That's a stupid comment. Brenda Casalius, the district's new superintendent, sent a letter to staff announcing changes that would impact 181 total positions at the central office. The district says 40 certified teachers will be moved to classrooms. Many of the positions are classified as academic coaches, literary specialists, like early childhood teachers, program support teachers, music teachers, and transition coordinators. It has the possibility of destabilizing the district. How? I love it how people can say what something is, but they never give you detail. Casales says the change addresses losing an anticipated 80 teachers by next school year due to teacher shortages, retirements, and normal staff departures, and the rest of the 140 positions at the central office effective will be reposted, and you can reapply. MTEA President Walker Henry said, when you have a mask accessing, you haven't looked at the seniority of these workers. You don't have to. You got your job. That is your seniority. You choose your vacation before everybody else. That is your seniority. Your pay level is your, well, the mayor supports the change. Not that that would matter because it's a separate entity. Mayor Cavalier Johnson said she wants to make sure that students all across the district have the opportunity to have a qualified and good teacher at the classroom, especially in light of teacher shortages. And I agree with both Mayor Cavalier Johnson and Superintendent Casales. Casales says she will share what staffing will look like at the central office next week. And there was a board meeting on last night. Well, Milwaukee Public School Superintendent Brenda Casales said yesterday there's a vision for restructuring at the central office. New cabinet positions and more job cuts. So here's what it is. According to MPS, the new administrative structure includes new cabinet positions, including 2 deputy superintendents and a chief of family, community, and partnerships. Eduardo Galvan, who served as the interim superintendent before Casales' arrival, will fill one of the deputy superintendent roles until his retirement later this week. Casales says the changes reflect staff and community feedback. And so she was smart in saying we need a caring and competent teacher, permanent teachers in the classroom, and these folks are some of our best. Casales addresses the changes of the vacancies due to teacher shortages, retirements, staff departures, and the rest of the impacted positions, of course, will be reposted. And so
Some teachers showed up last night with frustration. You want to change everything else, police, fire, companies. You want to change everything to benefit you. Now it's time that if your calling is being a teacher, do it. Seats were filled with anger, disappointment, and turmoil over the excess positions. That I understand. Teacher Laurel Hebsch said, I think this will cause more vacancies and loss of staff over time as people leave the district. Well, aren't you living on your salary and not overtime? Coach Steve Van Zandt said it's a short-term fix, not a sustainable solution. This is about throwing all of us out and starting over. Well, you were already there. You weren't doing what you were supposed to do. The kids' scores are terrible, and you haven't been doing your job. Those who oppose the changes say they violate seniority rights and they weren't given any time to apply elsewhere. Mass accessing is telling teachers who are veterans in their field that their work that they are doing is not valued or that they're exchangeable, and they are. Over time, competent teachers become good teachers. The restructure and the cuts go into effect July 1st. We're already short. The kids are already doing bad. How could this possibly hurt? I don't think it will. I say hats off to superintendent. This is the second move. She removed all the regional superintendents that were, I don't know what they were doing, being a buffer between the superintendent and the principals, and now the principals don't have an opportunity to talk directly to the superintendent. Well, now they do. They can talk to two of their deputy superintendents, or they can talk to the superintendent directly. I have absolutely no problem with this move. I think it is a long overdue move. And when we continue to have people that come through the system and the only thing they do when they get into positions is to perpetuate the system, and the system is broken, when it's fixed, this is what you get. Change is tough. I've had to live through it on multiple occasions. Unfortunately, I'm so used to it. Why? Because law enforcement every day is different. Literally, there's no playbook. Every call is different. Every car you're in might be different. You come in and the boss might be different. Changes happen, transfers happen, people retire. People quit. 31 position cuts at the central office. 12 of those will be repurposed, meaning 19 will be totally eliminated. You get to reapply for another job. Fat on top of fat. What are you doing with $1 billion budget, if not more, with 62,000 kids? How does that work? You keep saying you want money in the schools. You want money in the classroom. Well, now you got it. We need change. Well, now you got it. 62,000 students at $16,129, give or take, for each student. Classroom of 30, work it out. Too much fat at the central office, too much money being wasted, and she came in and she did what they wanted her to do. It'll take some heat off of the school board. Maybe the school board can get back to doing what they're supposed to do, which is make sure the students learn at 1 to 2 grade levels above where they are, graduate, and move forward. We'll know by October when I have my Truth Summit. We're going to be talking about education, from the high chair to higher education. We're going to be talking about that. And how MPS has played a part in much of the success of many people in their 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s right now in this city. Yeah, I know you all said, oh, he hates MPS, he hates public schools. That's not it. But right now, I'm doggedly optimistic about the Milwaukee Public Schools. This is a long time coming. I'm not anti-union. You need a union. I get it. But within that, you don't get to tell the boss what to do. Contrary to popular belief, the tail does not wag the dog. The dog wags the tail. And right now, on top of that structure is Dr. Brenda Casalis. And over the last week, she's proven that she's about change, but she did very specific, productive things to make that change. There were no commissions. There were no groups and meetings and councils. She talked to the people that were in charge, people that were in leadership. She made identifications based on what Governor Evers and his task force came in and looked at. And they looked at what the city said and the county and said, these are the changes that we're going to make. And then she did what no other superintendent did. Well, in recent history, she made the change. And you can scream, and you can complain, but statutorily, fiduciarily, she did her job. Today, mark my words, March 14th, 2025, got to tell you, MPS gets an A.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 1017 The Truth.
Truth Nation, Gruber Law Offices, and The Truth have raised the stakes for this year. The One Call That's All Gruber Cash Giveaway is now a $5K giveaway. Yes, you heard it right. $5,000 giveaway. Every weekday on 1017 The Truth, you will have the chance to be entered to win the $5K giveaway. Listen to The Truth for the One Call That's All cue to call for your chance to win $5,000. Gruber Law Offices, One Call That's All. Visit 1017thetruth.com for official contest rules.
Who's looking for a better deal? Well, Cousin Sub's $10 meal deals just got better. Available online only. Order your 7.5-inch meal deal today and upgrade it with a large fountain beverage, large fry, regular shake, or regular Wisconsin cheese curds. Prices vary by item from $1 to $2 a piece. Make it better and make it your own way. Now that's a better deal. For further details or to order, go to cousinsubs.com or on the mobile app. Cousin Subs. We believe in better. Available online at participating locations only. Offer subject to change without notice.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Oh, what you gonna do? You wanna get down? Tell me. Oh, what you gonna do? Do you wanna get down? Oh, what you gonna do? You wanna get out? Oh, what you gonna do? You wanna get down? Tell me. Get down on it. Get down on it. Get down on it. Get down on it. Come on in. Get down on it.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. I was just asking Glenn, could he dance? And he's, no comment. I'll leave it at that. 833-212-1017 is the number. I'm Dr. Ken Harris with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. There's no better time. Y'all better hurry up and do it because it's going to storm tomorrow. You need to upgrade your windows and doors right now. Well, Pella is offering up to 6 years of 0% financing. Set up your free in-home consultation. You commit to nothing at this point. They listen to your vision and suggest the Pella materials and customizations to make it a reality. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions apply, and the deal ends May 31st of 2025. So visit PellaWI.com today. That's PellaWI.com today. 833-212-1017 is the number. Hey, what's up, Quanda? No storms yet down in Florida? Well, we got some interesting things that are on the way to Wisconsin. Matter of fact, let me take a look at the weather right now. Today, right now, it's 50 degrees. Ooh, I'm sorry, it's 68 degrees with the wind from the northwest at 9 miles an hour. Humidity is at 76%. Unfortunately, tomorrow, it is not going to be that fun. There's a hazardous. I can never say that word. Hazardous weather outlook from the National Weather Service, Milwaukee, Sullivan, Wisconsin, for portions of east central, south central Wisconsin, and southeast Wisconsin. Tonight, isolated thunderstorms forecast for the early afternoon inland from Lake Michigan, particularly northwest of Madison, and then fog from Lake Michigan will return tonight into early Thursday. And then a level 3 out of 5 risk. So if you got to look at a risk as being 5 is a really, really, really bad severe thunderstorm, and 1 being a not so much like regular rain, it's going to be a 3 for severe thunderstorms forecast Thursday afternoon and evening. All hazards are possible, including very large hail. I was about to say large hail, tornadoes, and damaging wind gusts. Tornadoes will be possible on Friday as well. A couple storms may just reach severe levels. So make sure if you got to travel, make sure you are safe. 833-212-1017 is the number. Let me go back to see what they're talking about in the talk and text line. Sir Chance, I don't know why you be questioning my music. I'm not a great lover of Kool and the Gang, but it was all right. But has Kool and the Gang ever made anything? Like, Kool and the Gang used to be that band you heard at, like, basketball games, right? And then electronic dance music took over, and now it's just every time you hear that music, like, oh, it's a basketball game. Not really a city girl. Say, good evening, Dr. Ken. Hey, what's up, y'all? But Joe, we got to talk. Let me get that blue leather bag up off you. You mean this one? The Michael Kors? I think not. Go buy your own. That was actually a Christmas present to myself. Maybe 2020? Christmas 2020? Yep, I was in Seattle. And I said, you know what? I'm going to be a tough guy. Because, guys wear bags now. And so I've got a green one. Hey, just because you don't wear a bag, real men are okay wearing bags. I mean, you got a problem with. You look like you got a problem with that. Men wearing bags. You got a problem. Yeah. Okay. All right. Did he just do that? Wow. I can't show y'all his hand gesture because it was. See, again, that hand gesture. You know what that means? See, that's outside, Joe. That's outside. Wait a minute. Y'all hold on for a minute. Okay. So in my generation, that is a quote unquote vulgar sign. Yeah. So when you talk about somebody and you go, that's what that means. Wow. Millennials. Anyway, 833-212-1017 is the number. Joe said Superintendent Casela starts a reform, so we meet her in the middle as voters as far as the next board elections. No. You still need to get board members on the board that are going to support the children. When they lie and tell you they support the children and the only people that win are teachers and the union, that's a problem. And you're not going to get rid of the union. I'm not saying get rid of the union. I'm saying make sure the children are taken care of. I don't think that's too hard. I don't understand why people think that's too hard. Because it's not. All you got to do is make sure the children have what they need. That's all. Contrary to popular belief, it ain't rocket science. It's not rocket science. I know we like to pretend like it is, but it's not. 833-212-1017 is the number. When we come back, I want to talk about some technology, and I want to find out whether or not you love it or hate it. And now with 1017 The Truth Traffic, here's Debbie Lazaga.
The Mitchell Interchange has just become a big mess. We've got an accident on the ramp from northbound 94 to westbound 894 where the outer lanes are blocked. So big delays getting back to the airport spur. We've also got delays with accidents eastbound 94. One of them at Barker Road off on the right shoulder. Another one at Brookfield Road on the left shoulder. Those backups coming in from Highway 16 all the way to that point. And then we've also got another accident at St. Paul Avenue off on the right shoulder as well on eastbound 94. Now, northbound Brewers Boulevard to westbound 94, that ramp remains closed right now because of a crash that happened earlier this afternoon. So watch out for those areas all being super slow, along with 43 north and southbound, 41 north and southbound through that construction zone. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, areas of fog, mild with a low of 50. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, thunderstorms with a chance of them being pretty severe later on. A high of 74 at the lakefront, 83 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 1017 The Truth.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I'm very familiar with Gruber Law offices because they're always out in the community.
Gruber Law offices are known to be honest, hardworking.
They're always involved in our neighborhoods.
Gruber Law offices make our community a better place.
They are the best.
For nearly 40 years, Gruber Law Offices has helped people throughout Wisconsin. If you're injured, we're here to help. One call, that's all.
Wisconsin would not be the same without Gruber Law offices.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Are record energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes?
With limited incomes not keeping up with the lingering effects of inflation, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive in the blistering heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter. While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596. That's 800-506-5596. Or visit www.kwwf.org.
Sponsored by the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund.
Metastatic breast cancer, or stage 4 breast cancer, happens when cancer spreads beyond the breast to other parts of the body. About 168,000 women are living with it today, with Black women at a higher risk due to various factors. Research has led to treatments that help manage the disease and improve quality of life. The Everyday Counts study explores how nutrition and exercise coaching can support women with metastatic breast cancer. To learn more about the Everyday Counts study in Milwaukee, call 414-955-8819 or email edc@mcw.edu. If you or someone you know has stage 4 breast cancer, please encourage them to call and enroll in this valuable study. Again, call 414-955-8819 or email edc@mcw.edu.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Nazir Spencer. The Milwaukee Brewers are on a rough stretch, dropping their second straight game to the Cleveland Guardians Tuesday night, 2-0. The offense has been blanked 4 times in May, with the bats continuing to struggle and staying battle-tested.
We've kind of squandered because we're off to such a great start last year, and we never had to worry. You know what I mean? Well, we did, but you know what I'm saying? By this time, we were off and running and 4 or 5 game lead probably, and things felt good. You know, these young guys were believing, and it was fun.
Milwaukee now sits at 20-23 on the season, trailing the first-place Cubs by 5 games in the NL Central. They'll try to avoid the sweep Wednesday afternoon before heading back to Milwaukee. The Sports Update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. Are you laughing at me? He's laughing at me doing my lip sync.
And these are the arms that long to hold you inside every day and every night.
Yeah.
Oh, here is the soul of which you've taken control. Can't you see I'm trying to show love?
You know what the name of this song is? What I want to say. 833-212-1017 is the number. So, I have been driving a car that has this technology, and some people say it's great, and other people say it's not. Now, one of the issues I'm having with the Trump administration is they seem to think that when they personally feel something, then everybody feels it. And I got to tell you, it's not true. I'm just saying. It's not true. And so we get this idea that some things are disliked. So Environmental Protection Agency Administrator Lee Zeldin Zeldin is targeting climate technology that automatically turns a vehicle's engine off when it's stopped to save fuel. Now, I personally have that on my car. So what is it? Why does all this matter? Well, it's become a common feature in new vehicles as a way to save a few bucks on gas and reduce emissions. Advocates like it because it helps battle climate change, which I don't think it does. That's kind of dumb. But critics find it irritating. So the EPA administrator, Lee Zeldin, blasted start-stop systems in a post a couple days ago on X, signaling that the agency would take action against it. Mr. Zeldin, if you do so, you are stupid. Not because of climate change, but because it actually does save gas. Zeldin said, stop-start technology where your car dies at every red light so companies get a climate participation trophy. EPA approved it and everyone hates it, so we're fixing it. No, who hates it? Who do you know that hates it? Who do you know? So here's the kicker. The EPA doesn't mandate start-stop technology, but it provides extra fuel economy credits to automakers that adopt it. Well, then stop giving the fuel economy credits. Spokespeople for the EPA and the Alliance for Automotive Innovation, the auto industry's trade group, had no immediate comment as of last Monday. So the start-stop systems eliminated nearly 10 million tons of greenhouse gas emissions because it comes from gas, which makes sense, annually as of 2023. That's according to the Battery Council International. Technology was included in 65% of cars in 2023 and up to 9% in 2016. And so if you had a car that was made in a foreign country like a Mercedes or BMW or Volvo or Audi, is Audi foreign? Anyway, you probably found that you have on-off technology. I happen to love it. You can turn it on when you want to. You can turn it off when you're on the highway and back and stop and go traffic. I think it works great. And what it also teaches you not to do is ride the brake. Now, I will say something on the air. I think I said it before. In the entire time I've had my car, I've only had brake pads replaced, unlike two. I don't use my brakes like that. I slow down before I get to a stop, significantly before, so by the time I get there, I'm rolling to a stop at a stop sign. I time lights so I don't have to jam on my brakes. I think I've literally jammed on my brakes maybe 3 times in the entire time I've owned the car. And it's a Mercedes. And it's an older Mercedes. I like older cars. I don't like brand new, spanking new cars that 5 minutes after they roll off the lot, all the depreciation rolls off. I like to buy them 3 years, at least 3 years old, with about 20, 30,000 miles and get a warranty and stuff that breaks, they fix it. And that's exactly what happened. However, why the EPA is bothering with this, I understand that you are not necessarily a fan of climate change. I'm not either. Global warming, I can work with. Climate change, stupidity. And then when people try to make you feel bad and they do the whole groupthink thing, that's what you get. What are your thoughts? 833-212-1017. Hit me on the YouTube at 1017 The Truth, and you can go stream and watch us and hit the subscribe button and all that stuff. But hit me on the YouTube chat. Hit me on the talk and text line, 833-212-1017. Do you like stop and start technology? Now, granted, you got to have 2 batteries in your car in order for it to work. A bigger battery and a smaller battery. Your running lights still have to work. If you got heat, it still has to run. If you got air conditioning, it still has to run. Windshield wipers, brake lights, all that stuff has to still run. So instead of draining your main battery, you have a second backup battery. I've had to replace that battery 1 time. I think it helps. I know that it saved me significant amounts of fuel because when I ran, because I don't know if I should submit this. Should I say it? I usually drive my car to about a quarter tank of gas on a good day. Usually it's about an eighth, and my car tells me you have 39 miles before you run out of gas, right? And I calculate, okay, so I'm 13 miles from where I'm going, and I'm 13 miles to get back home or get to a gas station, so I could probably make it. And I do. And then that little red light shows up that goes, hey, stupid. And I call that the stupid light. It's a light that reminds me that at this point, you don't know how much gas you got, but you're about to run out. And I usually do that about once a month. I drive it. And right now, I'm under a quarter tank of gas. So everything I do this evening and everything I do tomorrow, I'm probably not going to fill up. And I'm going to try to remember. I blame it on my ADHD. I forgot. I was thinking about something else. And that's usually why I don't fill up in gas. But the start-stop saves me. The start-stop saves me from running out of gas. And then sometimes I'm driving it and it doesn't click on. I'm like, oh, what happened? What's going on? And then it does. Chauncey said, Kool and the Gang has many hits. Celebration, which is a worldwide anthem song. By who? Like who used Celebration? Like when you win, like the NBA championship. Celebrate good times. Come on. Anyway, whatever. And he said, I don't be questioning your music selection. I subliminally commending you on it. Yeah, whatever. So you just can't give me a hand clap, right? Just can't give me a hand clap? That's how you do me? All right. When we come back, I want to talk about President Joe Biden. I want to talk about the new books that are starting to come out and some of the lies that the media told about Joe Biden's health, about Joe Biden's capacity to be the president, and questions about who ran what, who signed what, who pardoned who. I'm interested.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on May 20th.
Uh-oh. Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Baltimore Orioles.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in May 20th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
It's party time at Cousins Subs. For a limited time only, Cousins 2-foot party subs are back. Choose from the club, ham and provolone, Italian special, or turkey. Each party sub is just $39.99. Feeds 5 to 8 people and requires 24-hour notice to order. And now you can complete your party by adding a party chip bag and a dozen chocolate chip cookies for just $4.99. Order today in store, online, or on the app. Cousins Subs. We believe in better.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake. Tee off at the Lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course or unwind at the award-winning Calidora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family. Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen. Explore stunning shores and historic landmarks. And enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
On
Thursday, May 22nd, join Sharp Literacy for the 9th annual Unwrapped Milwaukee fundraising event from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at 3rd Street Market Hall. Unwrapped is an evening of community, creativity, and food. Top area chefs will create gourmet appetizer, entree, and dessert bites using McDonald's ingredients. The fundraiser will support Sharp's STEAM-based educational program serving thousands of urban elementary students in 47 Milwaukee, Waukesha, and Racine schools. For tickets, visit sharpliteracy.org.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. You know, there are times in everyone's life when life tosses you a curveball and you have to readjust, realign, and rededicate your resources to making things better. But sometimes you may know what to do, but many times it's the first time you've ever faced an issue, especially when it comes to money. For the first couple of decades and for the last couple of decades, I really didn't understand and know. And I've been able to turn to Educators Credit Union. I had a financial issue that involved another family member, and I was able to go in, get advice, get a plan, and I'm here to tell you that it worked. At Educators, our members are our purpose. As a credit union, we're not concerned about profits or the bottom line of shareholders. Our greatest reward is you achieving your financial dreams through lower rates, access to free financial resources. Experience more heart and less hassle by making the switch today. Achieve more at ECU.com. Insured by NCUA, membership eligibility is required. 833-212-1017 is the number. I've never, and I know people are going to freak out when I say this, I've never really been a fan of Anita Baker, and I've never really been a fan of Whitney Houston. That's just me. You're misogynistic. No. Because there are a lot of male singers I'm like Tank. I don't, some stuff I just, Milli Vanilli. You even call them singers? Where's AI when you need it, right? AI would have been better than Milli Vanilli. Anyway. 833-212-1017 is the number. So there were so many books that are coming out about Joe Biden right now. And you got to admit, no matter how much hatred you have for Donald Trump, he beat Joe Biden. He beat Kamala Harris. I'm trying to think of an analogy of beating someone. You got any, Glenn? Beat him like a dead dog. Like, I don't know what. Beat him like a. Yeah. He got smacked. She got smacked. And we keep blaming misogyny and she's a black woman and all that. And some people, sure, it was there, but that wasn't the real reason. And Democrats lied to every single person in America. The media lied. MSNBC lied. Joe Scarborough lied. Jake Tapper lied. Everybody lied. He's good. He's great. We even heard people here on The Truth talk about how great he was and he's the best and he's this and there's nothing wrong. And they hid the fact that there was some cognitive dissonance, that there was some back problems, had trouble walking. The debate was terrible. So by the time he dropped out, there was no way they could get somebody to run. The question I have for you is, did you see his mental and physical decline? Or was I blind? 833-212-1017. If they had replaced Joe Biden at the beginning of the season, would Donald Trump have won? Not what you hope, but what you know. Based on everything that the Democratic Party did, the lies, the staff that filled in meetings for him, filled out paperwork for, like, do we even know that he was the one that actually signed everything or made all the decisions? His wife ran cabinet meetings where they put names up because some of the people he didn't even know. These are things that are in Jake Tapper. And if you know who Jake Tapper is, he used to work for CNN. Jake Tapper that said how great Trump, Biden was, and he was at his best health. We've never seen him stronger. It was a lie. And they lied so the people would vote for him. They took advantage of people's hatred for Donald Trump to vote for a man that was incompetent. And I don't understand that. I don't understand it because you saw day after day, year after year, even before he got in office, that he was not fit to be president. Your argument can't be Donald Trump wasn't either. Because Democrats now don't have any leadership at all in what's going to happen in the next couple of years. What's going to happen at midterms? 833-212-1017 is the number. Sandra, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Hi, Dr. Ken. Time to call in.
What's up?
How you doing? I was just listening
doing
to you speak on your comments and stuff. Okay, good.
So I'm assuming, but I'll ask. Did you vote?
Sure.
And did you vote for Joe Biden?
Sure.
Seeing the or Kamala Harris, seeing the cognitive decline, the physical decline, did you actually believe that he was fit to be president?
Yeah.
How?
I knew he had problems. I knew he had 2 strokes. I knew his condition. He's 80-something years old.
So then why would
he's
you
an
vote?
Older man.
But then why would you vote somebody in that you can see with your eyes that he can't do the job?
He didn't do anything to tear down anything.
He didn't do anything to help you.
Firing all these people.
We're not talking about Donald Trump. We are not talking about.
He put a black lady on the judicial system.
What does that matter? If
it matters, I want to see some of us. I want to see some of us in some of those seats.
To what end?
Huh?
To what end?
Well,
that you want to see? You just want a black person. You just want a black person in there?
Enough to be there.
That's not what I asked.
Smart enough to be there.
Answer my question, Sandra. What?
That's your question.
No, that was your question. My question is to what end do you put a black person in? Just because they're black, or because they're black and they have? Let me ask the question.
Okay, go ahead. Let me let you finish.
Because they were black and they are able to get the job done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who do you know could do that as president?
The thing is, the Supreme Court been robbed anyways. So that's all. So you don't like to talk about Trump.
Okay, we're not talking about the Supreme Court. It's not that I don't like talking about Trump, but I'm asking you about the Democratic Party. I'm not asking you about Donald Trump.
I don't care about the Democrats. The Democrats ain't tearing up the United States. The Republicans tearing it up. The Republicans are greedy. They are greedy. They're money hungry. They're low down.
Yeah,
and
because all
those.
That's
what I got to say.
So all those. Okay,
so that's what I got to say.
All right, thank you much.
Money, greed.
Okay.
Bye bye.
You do know that most of the billionaires in America are actually Democrats. I'm just saying. We're still not winning anything. We're not winning. We're still not getting anything. Our views, our input, our things are lost. We keep putting people in office who say they have our best interests, and then they don't have our best interests, and then we keep putting them in office, and I don't understand why. When I ask, people tell me about Donald Trump. I give 2 flips about Donald Trump. He won, that's it. Democrats got eviscerated, and nobody will step up and go, hey, here's why. This is what we're fixing. We're still looking for the great white hope. because that's the only person that can save us in America, to the point where even Democrats do it to us, and we get snookered by it, and we don't say anything about it. Just kind of sit back and, okay. They've been telling us that since 1868, and we still ain't got nothing to show for it. Zero. Nada. We got to move forward beyond how you feel. I don't care that you'll take Biden over Trump. When you don't have anything, you're basing it on who he ran against. Nobody cares. Go out, get away from your media, get away from listening to the truth in terms of that, and go do some research yourself outside of your normal research places. If you're liberal, look at conservative. If you're conservative, look at liberal. Look at everybody in the middle. Like, start looking at some things and start looking at some data from the government that tells you whether or not you made it or not. You talk about Trump and his family, but Biden took care of his own family, made millions. Why is it wrong for Trump, but okay for Biden? Black people got snookered. We got hoodwinked. We was robbed. And we keep going back to the same thing without asking for anything. Now is the appropriate time to set 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things that the Democratic Party must give you before you vote for them. Otherwise, that's it. In 4 years, Republicans will win again. And you'll have nobody to blame but you. Because you got lied to again. And you did the same thing again. And you got nothing again. But instead, we want to blame somebody else. And I don't think we did our research. 833-212-1017 is the number. Top 5 at 5 up next.
Here at the new 1017 The Truth, we aim to be a staple in Milwaukee's Black community. We are committed to partnering with local organizations and supporting Black-owned businesses. We are proud to call Milwaukee our city and promise to be a positive reflection of our community. We look forward to celebrating Black culture and excellence with you every day as we make history and continue to uplift the voices in our city. Join us for the journey at the new 1017 The Truth, founded by Gruber Law Offices, Milwaukee Black Talk.
It started with a prediction.
Gonna go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024, U.S. Bank.
Keep your business safe, secure, and spotless with the Omega Security Guard and Cleaning Team. Proudly located in Milwaukee and female-owned, Omega delivers professional security and tailored cleaning services to meet your needs. Whether it's event security or a custom cleaning plan, their dedicated team goes above and beyond to exceed your expectations. Because at Omega, they're not just your service provider, they're your partner in peace of mind. Contact Omega Security Guard today or online at OmegaSecurityGuard.com. Omega Security Guard and Cleaning, protecting what matters most.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
We're not adults, so just
be there and like listen. I just want someone to yap to. And I just feel like I'll be fine like if someone just hears me talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk.
You're doing a really good job. And I don't think I tell you that enough. And I know sometimes we get into it and it's just hard on both of us. But, try to understand me more and I'll try to do the same.
Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
Breaking news, weather, entertainment, and sports. We have it all here. This is 101.7 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is your 101.7 The Truth News Update.
Hello, everyone. This is Rhea Riley with your news update. One person is in custody after a fire at the downtown college. Surveillance video showed the person intentionally set a chair on fire on the third floor of the Student Center at Milwaukee Area Technical College around 6:40 a.m. Tuesday morning before fleeing. 2 employees quickly put out the fire, but it did trigger the sprinkler system, causing water damage throughout the building. Milwaukee police arrested the suspect later that afternoon and is recommending arson charges. The Student Center remains closed on the downtown campus today, making more administrative cuts within Milwaukee Public Schools. Superintendent Dr. Brenda Casilius plans to eliminate 31 positions in the central office as part of her reconstructuring plan. She says these cuts will focus more support on teachers and students.
We would look at the job embedded positions in this actual school building to be able to support our teachers, and they'll always then have somebody right at hand to be able to support their instruction in the classroom.
As part of the reconstructuring, Dr. Casilius also eliminated regional superintendents and intends to hire a chief operations officer. The use of cell phones will be out of the school's control and into the hands of the state. State lawmakers are debating a bill to add Wisconsin to the growing list of states banning K-12 students from using cell phones in schools while classes in session. The bill proposes that school boards adopt a uniform cell phone policy with exceptions for emergencies, health needs, and educational purposes. The bill would require schools to implement cell phone policies by July 2026. This has been your news update. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris continues on the new 101.7 The Truth.
Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Let me get Lance in. You're on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Hello, Lance. All right, though, Lance. Talking text line, Daphne said Trump is making billions and is making billions monthly, but correct, we do need to make... Okay, first of all, Trump's business is making billions. He had to put his business in a trust. So he can't make any money as president. But correct, we do need to set a black agenda. There is a black agenda. It's really basic and simple. Part of that agenda has to be the fact that you live in America and that you take advantage of the things that America can give you. And then on top of that, if you want to do anything, then you do it. Then she went on and said, I don't think it matters either way, Republican or Democrat, blacks never get what they want. That is what black people say. Thank you, Daphne, for that. That is what black people say when they lose and the other person wins. Well, I don't like Republicans or Democrats. Doesn't matter. Republicans never gave us anything. You never gave them a chance. You bash, you complain. Meanwhile, throughout the black community, there are probably 80 to 90% of the things that are on the Democratic plank that black people do not agree with, which is bizarre to me. And you just quietly sit there. Well, at least we'll get something, but you don't get anything. But then they win and they forget about you. I mean, forget about you. Everybody else's agenda is more important than black people. I know we talk about getting reparations, but we're not going to get reparations. And integration did us in. But I'm going to talk about that a little later. Daphne also said, do the way we saw in news. Okay, let me figure it. The way we, Dr. Harris, do we get to, as Republicans too, or what do, okay, I got to, so we saw, but I still take Biden over Trump anyway, especially now. The only folks who are winning now are the upper 1% and Trump and his family. Well, Trump and his family, I mean, they have businesses. They're also a significant number of black millionaires, black billionaires, and black and Democrat millionaires and Democrat billionaires who are winning. What do you mean by winning? What exactly does that mean? Like what does it mean to actually win? Because the middle class in the country, I'm telling you, they're quiet, but they're not hurting. The middle class. Yeah, we complain. Yeah, there's gas. Gas is too much. But then you pay it. Food is too much, but then we pay it. So what is that? Why do we complain about it, but then we made it? The poor are struggling big time. I have issues with cutting off certain things that are making the helping the poor, and then saying that we're getting rid of fraud. Yeah, but the problem is you're throwing a baby out with the bathwater. When you need to do it more on a more granular level of looking at every single person and finding out there's fraud and then getting rid of them. Once you start doing that and making it public, then people will do. But this wholesale getting rid of doesn't make any sense. Cutting money for schools and doing that's kind of, I mean, I get cutting back, and if you got an endowment, but now they want to tax endowments, which I don't think he's going to be able to do. But they're trying to do it. Before I get to my top 5 and 5, Moni said, if I'm saying your name right, I toggle between AM 1130 and 101.7 all day, every day, as I'm balanced as you can get, and I offer concessions to deserving party, Republican or Democrat, regardless. But when the MAGA crown spawned, I immediately saw the threat. So tell me what the threat is. And when I say that, I'm not saying I'm pro-MAGA. I'm trying to see what you see. I'm trying to hear what you hear. And if you say, well, you should see it, well, that's not an answer. This off the cuff, well, you should know. You should support it. But, okay, then tell me why. Give me a legitimate reason you support one over the other. And it can't be because I don't like the other person, because that's ridiculous. The bottom line is that us talking to each other about politics, and Moni said, I'm appalled by this new trend in politics. I'm appalled by the new trend in politics on both sides. Nobody's talking to anybody. Where did this divide come from? Wayne said, Dr. Ken, you are incorrect. Donald Trump's businesses are being operated by his sons. Correct. But anything he personally owns had to be put in a trust. And why can't his family run a business just like Biden's family ran his business? I don't understand. The question we have to ask ourselves is, do you believe he has no influence over decisions his sons make about the family business? I don't care. And Biden had influence over his son. I don't care. They're family. If it was truly a trust, he would have no influence or contact with those running the corporation. This is a true shady, I'm assuming he said gray area. Politicians created it. Of course it's a gray area. Democrats and Republicans have taken advantage of that for years. You just don't like it because it's Trump. But Democrats have taken advantage of that. Look at the state of Wisconsin. They do it all the time. People take advantage of the laws. We're paying pensions to people that were in office X amount of years and they get a pension. Why? You're a politician. Should have been a part-time job. It should be the way the county board is. Go get a job. If you want to be a county board supervisor, you're only getting paid $25,000, $30,000 a year. That's it. That's it. That's all you get. I can get with that. I think your senators should be like that. I think congressmen and women should be like that. I got no problem with that. Levels the playing field. But this idea of hating something, but even not knowing why you hate it, makes no sense. Because in the long run, all them people going to be gone in 10 years, 5 years, 4 years. Donald Trump's gone in 3 years. Gone. Ain't got to bother with him no more. Ain't got to hear from him no more. He's a past president. That's it. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Because we've been talking a lot, but no one has come up with a solution.
Number 5.
This is from Milwaukee Neighborhood News Service. Did you know that you can get a municipal ID card? You have proof that you're a resident of the city of Milwaukee. They can be used to get Medicare, open up bank accounts, get library cards. It costs you $10. How do you do it? Well, to get a municipal ID card, you have to be 14 years old. Minors must be accompanied by a parent or guardian. Submit a completed application, proof of identity, proof of residency, and the $10 payment. Applications must be submitted in person to the City Clerk License Division Office, Room 105 at City Hall, 200 East Wells. Applications are available in Hmong, Spanish, and English. What you can't use them for is to vote in local or national elections. This is different from a real ID, which is a form of identification that meets federal standards for accessing federal facilities, boarding domestic flights, getting on Amtrak, stuff like that. Cool. Kind of simple, but I don't think most people knew that you could have that.
Number 4.
This from urbanmilwaukee.com. This one kind of disturbs me, and I gotta call. We gotta call Robin Voss, see if we can get him on the show. He. Days after a deadly fire ripped through a Milwaukee apartment complex, you heard about it. 85 apartments, 5 people died, including a mother of 5. Assembly Speaker Robin Voss, Republican of Rochester, Wisconsin, says lawmakers will tread carefully when considering changes to building codes. I get that. This says Assembly Speaker Robin Voss says changes to sprinkler laws unlikely. Okay, so let me read through this. But the article says he'll tread lightly. Of course, like I said, displaced 100 people, killed 5. It was Sunday on Mother's Day. Building built in 1968 did not have a sprinkler system. Didn't have to. Those have been required in buildings taller than 60 feet since 1974, but older buildings were grandfathered in. Voss said retrofitting old buildings could lead to an increase in housing costs. And it could. Because, the person who owns the house is going to pass that cost on to people moving in. It means your apartment might go up $200-$300 a month. He told reporters yesterday, I think we really have to think about that and what the potential ramifications are before we just pass a mandate that might feel good for the moment, but make homeless but make people homeless, drive up costs, and certainly not have the intended effect. And so we're talking about low-cost housing for people that are trying to get up and out into the work world. And so if you do this, you'll do that. So what other things could we do? What technology is in place that you could put in your house if there's a fire? But you would have to have everybody do it. Because all you need is one apartment with one fire and you're done. How would you get notified that there's a fire? There's got to be an alternative. Even if it's an early alert system, a smoke detector, something. But it has to be something that everybody can afford and everybody can do. Ask if he would support requiring all grandfathered buildings to be updated with fire safety systems like sprinklers. Voss said it could worsen the state's housing crisis. He said the last thing that we want to do is make it even more expensive to own a home or to rent an apartment. Obviously, if you add on additional costs, landlords aren't going to eat that. They would be passing that on in higher rents. So I don't know if you remember, it was an 85-unit apartment building near 27th and Highland Boulevard in Milwaukee, and it made it uninhabitable. Milwaukee Fire Chief Aaron Lipsky said the lack of a sprinkler system let the fire spread faster. And so there's got to be another way. There's got to be an alternative. I'm torn whether or not this is something that we shouldn't do or should do. Because you're just going to cause more homelessness and more people not to be able to live in an apartment. But then there's got to be something we can do in order to help people not die in a fire. Interesting.
Number 3.
Oh, it's Judge Dugan again. Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan files motions to dismiss the obstruction charges. So, Milwaukee County Court Judge Hannah Dugan, indicted by a federal grand jury, has filed a motion to dismiss the charges against her. The motion to dismiss claims Dugan is entitled to judicial immunity for her official acts. She wasn't on the bench. What? Anyway, the FBI claims Judge Dugan helped a undocumented immigrant, Eduardo Flores Ruiz, try to escape immigration agents at the courthouse. Judge Dugan is indicted on 2 counts, one for knowingly concealing Flores Ruiz, who had a warrant for his arrest. The other count accuses her of trying to influence, obstruct, and impede the arrest of Flores Ruiz, and mentioned her alleged actions by telling agents they need a judicial warrant, telling agents to leave the hallway where the arrest was planned, and leading Flores Ruiz and his lawyer through a non-public doorway. Dugan's attorney said in a statement, Judge Dugan asserts her innocence and looks forward to being vindicated in court. So then why did you file the dismissal? I'm just saying. So I think she's kind of cooked. I mean, I don't think the FBI would I know what we'll do. We'll just throw a flimsy charge at somebody and see if it sticks. FBI is kind of anal retentive when it comes to doing things like that. They dot every I, they cross every T, and then they get it double checked 4 times. FBI knocks on your door, says, hey, so we have charges against you for this, and here's a summons to come to court. So you can be arrested, fingerprinted, photographed, and then you're going to be arraigned. When they get to that point, they got you cold. They got you dead bang. You are not, the odds of getting out of it are only going to be technical. And they rarely flub something like that because you got to make sure if you're going to arrest a judge, a sitting judge, you better have everything together. So she's due back in court tomorrow, and I'm sure the judge is going to look at the motion to dismiss obstruction charges. It's probably not going to go through. She's in front of Lynn Edelman, if I heard correctly, and she'll probably have a trial, and so that'll be interesting. Unfortunately, Yeah, we'll see. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. I think there's so many things that are important in our lives, especially education. But evidently, I don't know if you heard, even rats value education.
Number 2.
This from CBS58.com. MPS is given 1 week to address the rodent problem at Pulaski High School. Well, MPS officials have a week to address the evidence of mice at Pulaski High School. This orders from the Department of Neighborhood Services came on yesterday, citing conditions that violate Milwaukee Code of Ordinances. DNS said we can't speak to any number exactly, but there was clear evidence of an infestation warranting the violation order from DNS. School now has a week to exterminate the mice, providing proof that a professional pest control company treated the school, especially exterior doors. Can you imagine opening your doors and having mice run in and out? The inspection order also details holes. Okay, I'm done. You hear me? There are holes in the walls, in the kitchen closet, and throughout the school. A parent who wants to remain anonymous shared photos and said mice could be seen running across desks, disrupting learning. They estimate there are possible, you ready? 100 mice in the building. They reportedly called the Milwaukee Health Department and voiced concerns to the school for a month now. They expressed disappointment in how long it took to take action and cite worry about possible health issues that could arise, like a mouse or a rat biting a student. Well, Milwaukee Health Department say rodent droppings were found in the main kitchen, dry storage area, near the serving line, behind the cooler unit, and in the employee break room. Inspectors also found a dead mouse on a sticky trap. In an email chain from administrators at Pulaski High School sent to CBS 58 anonymously, the administrator wrote the mice are taking over, urging teachers and students to clean up after themselves, offering mouse traps and not, well, it's too close to the end of the school year, so we'll get exterminated over the summer. Oh, okay. Health Department says they're not yet classified the situation as an infestation. They're working with the Department of Neighborhood Services and MPS on the next steps. Health Department says pests being in food service settings is concerning as they can spread disease and contaminate food. On today, MPS provided prepackaged breakfast kits to students and will provide lunch prepared off-site. MPS was ordered to provide a written action plan detailing how they will implement effective pest control by the end of today. MPS did issue a statement that they're working closely with the health department, staff, and outside vendors to ensure that all measures are being taken to resolve a pest issue identified at Pulaski High School. The health department has found no evidence of food being contaminated, and the site does not require closure. MPS was notified of the issue yesterday, took immediate action to address it, working closely with the health department, and utilized licensed personnel to perform eradication measures. You mean get rid of the mice? The infestation. So here's my question. When you get rid of the mice, are you going to poison them and then they die and now you have dead mice in the school and now you can smell them? Anyway, the facility at Pulaski High School is one of the district's smallest food preparation sites. So I can imagine at a larger school what that looks like. All food preparation areas are washed and sanitized daily. And all meals prepared at this location are heat sealed and stored in a refrigerator or freezer. The district uses quality control measures, ensuring that if any food were ever identified as being compromised, it would be destroyed. The problem is the mice are okay. I'm just like, I don't really understand. I'm looking at these pictures that are on CBS 58. They even got a dead mouse in one of the pictures. Like, what are we doing? But again, these are buildings that are so old. I guess when we go through and paint them to get rid of the lead, I guess we can, I don't know, maybe get rid of the mice?
Number 1.
This from WISN.com. So Milwaukee police are investigating a triple shooting that landed 3 people in the hospital. Happened yesterday around 10 p.m. at 37th and Lancaster in Old Milwaukee neighborhood. A 22-year-old An unidentified victim both sustained serious injuries and were hospitalized. A 22-year-old and an unidentified victim both sustained serious injuries and were hospitalized. A 29-year-old also suffered non-fatal gunshot wounds and was taken to the hospital. No arrests have been made. If anyone has any information, they're urged to call the Milwaukee Police Department at 414-935-7360. And so my question is, how many shootings is this in less than a week? You got a 3-year-old shot. I wonder whatever happened to the 3-year-old. Haven't heard anything. Multiple homicides. Young people. Older people. Like, what are we doing? What's happening? What is happening? And why aren't we doing anything about it? We talked about this yesterday. Why isn't the black community doing anything about it? This is local. It's not Biden. It's not Trump. It's not the governor. It's not the county executive. It's Milwaukee. What are we doing? Shootings are up. Homicides are up. According to the Milwaukee Police Department, the city recorded 42 shootings between April 16th and May 13th. That's yesterday. 42 shootings. A sharp jump from 28 that were reported the month before. Despite the recent spike, year-to-date numbers show non-fatal shootings are still down compared to the same time last year. But so far this year, police have reported 166 non-fatal shootings, down from 200 at this point in 2024. However, homicides are trending up. There were 17 homicides between April 16th and May 13th, triple the number from the previous month. What changed? Well, so far in 2025, we've had 43 homicides, 10 more at this point than we had last year. What changed? I have no idea. Do you? 833-212-1017 is the number. Do you have an idea of why we have so much of an increase in crime?
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Start jamming in the morning and get your daily drop of juice.
Juice gets you hydrated and started for your day. And that's what we plan to do from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Every single morning, we're going to be keeping you in the mix, talking about everything you care about all before 9 a.m.
So wipe that crust out your eyes and get ready for jamming with juice.
Turning your mornings into your favorite part of the day.
Get that stank breath out of here. Brush your teeth.
It's it, bro. Like, what? Catch Jammin' with Juice
from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Good morning, Milwaukee.
It's 1017 The Truth. Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. There's no better time to upgrade your windows and doors than right now, because you can get up to 6 years of 0% financing at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Yes, no interest for up to 72 months, and the full Pella experience is always included. That means the Pella team is with you from start to finish. They don't disappear after the work is done. Set up your free in-home consultation. You commit to nothing at this point. A Pella design expert will listen to your vision and then present the different colors, sizes, and customizations needed to make that vision a reality. It can feel overwhelming to consider what feels like limitless possibilities, but Pella's design team can help narrow those options down for you to create that dream upgrade. Hurry! Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions apply, and the deal ends May 31st, 2025. So visit PellaWI.com today.
My overall experience with Gruber Law Offices has been phenomenal.
The treatment was excellent.
They will be supportive of you. They will listen to you.
It was a great experience knowing that I had people to help me.
I know I could count on them to do what I needed to get done.
Experience with Gruber was great.
They gave me my life back.
It was amazing.
He gets results.
We know how to win. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Gruber Law Offices had my best interests at heart.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, They've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Life's better with American Family Insurance, because whether it's a family road trip in your dream car or hosting a family reunion in your dream home, we help you feel protected so you can enjoy those dreams with peace of mind. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Al, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. What's up?
Hey, I was going to try to answer this question you was talking about. I think for a lot of some of our black people, they have a lot of internal anger with each other. And sometimes they feel you can't be nice to one another. If you nod your head, you get the look up and down, or if you walk past and you do the eye contact, they either bite their lip, or if they feel you're walking too close, they put their hand on their gun as if you're going to take something. A lot of this stuff they have that's going on is from within. And a lot of them fail to realize it's okay to say hello or have a good day, or you say you hold the door, and they're like, well, you don't got to hold the door for me. It's just you trying to be kind. Because, see, on the other hand, they expect white people to be nice. But when it comes to your own, it's, already a dark cloud. So a lot of that stuff is from within, and it shows in our neighborhood.
Where do you think that comes from, though?
I think it comes from home. It can be from society. It can be from how they're raised. It can be from how they look at people or how they look at themselves.
So you think it's a self-esteem thing?
Well, it can be that too. It could be many of things. Prime example, I was at a gas station. The guy had like 11 guns on him. I was like, oh, excuse me. He stood there, and all he did was grab his guns and look all angry. The security guy said, well, he said, excuse me, what do you want him to do? So I think it's something within. And some of them might not be accustomed to another black man or another black woman saying, hello, have a good day, or I'm going to go on and let you go, and they respond with a whole lot of belligerent words.
But you live in a neighborhood that's predominantly black. You're saying that they've never had anybody say hello to them?
Well, some of them don't want nobody black to say hello. You know how some people say, well, I'm hood. No, you're hood. I'm not hood. But for some of them, they don't want to let go to the, what is it called, Ninja Sugar Honey Iced Tea. So some of them are they're so deep-rooted, they don't know how to let it go.
So how do we get that way?
But if I think it comes from home training, and it comes from not looking at life a certain way.
Okay.
You have some people who are angry, some people are jaded, some people are bitter. You have some people, if you tell them they can do good, they'll say, well, when you tell me stuff like that, I just brush it off.
So
but the person who's sitting around,
But other than home, what do you think is influencing them?
I think it could be just society, or they could just be mad at themselves. It's easier to stay stuck than rather grow.
So what do you think about it being the music? So we talk about how women should be treated, men should be treated, families should be treated, all these nice and good things. But then the music that we listen to trashes women. It's misogynistic. Women are just used for sex. And I mean, all of the Diddy stuff that's going on.
Well,
This is normal in the music industry, and that's what they listen to. Do you think that has an impact on it?
Well, music, that has an impact, but I'm sure they does not look at their mother that way, and they also have the free will. Because I listen to the same music, and I don't feel that way. And other groups of other ethnic groups listen to the same music, and they don't respond to their people that way. It's the thing called free will. Yeah, I listen to some Sexy Red, yay! But I don't sit there and say, well, every woman is that. Some of that stuff is all free will. But some of them people, they're so enrooted, they don't want to do better. You know, if you tell you never heard that saying, I can't care about you more than you care about yourself.
Facts.
And I can tell you everything you can do to be successful, but they choose to go back to the Ninja Sugar Honey Iced Tea. Some of them are so deep-rooted they don't want to grow, so they just have that outlook for their people.
So how do we change it? Next generation. Generation A just got born. How do we change it?
Well, we have to instill some things in them to let them know that they are somebody, and just because one person feels that way does not mean you have to feel that way.
Well, that sounds like conservative values then, you know, talking about the family and going to, listen to what I'm saying, going to school, getting an education, getting a job, taking care of your family, you acting white.
Well, I ain't saying that's acting white either.
Well, you and I both know in our community, that's what they say.
Well, that's what they say, but that's tradition. But all tradition is not normal. You have to create your own normal and create your own tradition.
No, you really can't, because then most of it's and some of it will be against the law. That's how we got where we are now.
Well, it depends on what you're doing with the law. You have to create your own tradition and create your own normal.
And what does that look like?
But also be realistic.
No, I think at some point there are some things that are normal. There are some things that are traditional that if everybody does them, because we already have the truth from centuries, that if you do these certain things, you'll make it in life. And people decided not to. But that's what.
But just because that's their truth doesn't mean that's going to be your truth.
There's no such thing as your truth and my truth and their truth. That's garbage.
Yes,
some things are
true. It's not, because my truth is not everybody's truth. Your truth is not my truth because you're an individual.
That makes no sense at all. Things that are true on its own, and it'll stand truth on its own, and nobody can change it no matter what. You're going to die. That's the truth. I don't care what you think about it, how you want to change it. That's not my truth. Well, no, you said that if that's your truth, that's your truth. That means you can apply it to anything, and you can't.
But we're talking about the laws and lessons of life.
It's garbage.
And your tradition might not be my normal.
We've shown the problems that we have in the community. It's not working.
But my garbage is my truth, and my garbage is not working for you. Just like your garbage will never work for me.
Al, I'm disappointed. That makes absolutely no sense.
Don't be disappointed.
I can be what I want to be.
Just like it's your sense.
What?
But that's for you. Your formula works for you, not for me.
All right.
That calls individuality.
There are some things in life, you too. There's some things in life that if you do it, it's going to be detrimental. Ain't got nothing to do with truth. Bottom line, it's harmful. And you're right. You have an opportunity to make a choice and do the things yourself. But what you can't do is call your truth when it's garbage. There's too much data, too many facts, and too many examples of making it, which is the opposite of your truth. Isn't truth supposed to be good? Isn't truth supposed to be raw and unfiltered? It stands on its own. You can't just make up your own because clearly it's not working. So I understand how it can be truth. 833-212-1017 is the number. I am so far behind. That's me. Push the right button. Winky Blue, you're on the award-winning 1017. You see how upset Al made me?
Hey, Al, listen, Dr. Ken.
Yeah.
You tried to give Al something, and I think he wants it. Al doesn't understand how actually conservative he really is. I listen to him all the time. and I sit back. A lot of times I don't call him because I'm too busy, but I listen because it's in my truck. Al, you try to give Al some. Al is really more conservative outside of the LGBTQ junk. Al is really a conservative nigga, man.
Well,
I'm gonna tell you that right now.
You can't call it junk because that's his truth.
Well, I don't want to say that he don't know his truth because he intelligent. I done sat down in a couple rooms with him a couple times, and we done had some debates.
Very smart.
You know, where I was called on the
right. I said he's very smart.
I've called on the show. I've been called on the show with him and me, and we sit down and we chop it up and we go at it. And what he doesn't realize is outside of his sexual preference, the Negro is as conservative as he can be.
Well,
okay, and you just gave it to him again.
I don't know if that's an accurate description. I don't know if his sexual preference drives
accurate, man. If
drives how he thinks. Let me. I don't know if his sexual preference drives how he thinks. I mean, he's an intelligent man. I mean, why does his sexual preference have anything to do with it?
Because it's governed and it's protected under the Democrat banner, and that's what it is.
Technically, it's protected under federal law, but anyway.
Okay, Dr. Ken, I love you, boy. You good. You good, man. You don't want to hurt nobody. And I understand that, man. But in reality, I bet you go back home and review these tapes and say, that nigga Winky Blue was kind of right. But listen, anyways, I think that Al is more conservative. And when you said it, you said, aren't these conservative values? He can't deny that, or he can't get around it.
Well, that's because we've taken the word conservative and given it over to the Republican Party when black folk that sit in church and synagogues and mosques all over the country are more conservative than some of those Republicans. But we just won't accept the fact that when we went to church every Sunday,
hold on, let's put it this way. It's been hijacked. The word conservative has been hijacked. I get that. It's been hijacked by a group of people that really shouldn't even own it, okay? I understand that part. They shouldn't even own that label, but they've hijacked it, and for us real conservative thinking people, far as from money, from monetary values down to religious values to whatever, we haven't reclaimed it, so they've grabbed it, and it's okay. All right, I'm game to get with it, okay. But at the same time, I listen at the brother, and outside of that, and what he don't realize is that, Al, if you're listening, there are LGBTQ people that are Republican, but what they don't do, they don't display it and try to force it on a group of people. Okay, that's all. That's the easiest way.
Thank you much.
No, thank you very much. Okay.
Later. 833-212-1017 is the number. When we come back, I got a whole bunch of talking text to catch up on, and you. And now with 1017 The Truth Traffic, here's Debbie Lazica.
The Mitchell Interchange remains a mess. We've got a crash basically at the collector ramp right just before Layton Avenue. So watch out for that. We've also got a couple of other issues right through there. The ramp from northbound to westbound in the Mitchell Interchange has a crash on it off on the right shoulder. We've also got some issues on 94. The westbound side, we've got just past Calhoun, a crash on the left shoulder. Those delays stretching from before the county line all the way to that point. And then we've also got this ramp from Brewers Boulevard to westbound 94 still closed because of a crash that happened earlier this afternoon. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, areas of fog. It'll be mild with a low of 50. Tomorrow, partly cloudy throughout the day. Then thunderstorms with a chance of some severe thunderstorms later on. A high of 74 at the lake, 83 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazica on 1017 The Truth.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
On Thursday, Thursday, May 22nd, join Sharp Literacy for the 9th annual Unwrapped Milwaukee fundraising event from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at 3rd Street Market Hall. Unwrapped is an evening of community, creativity, and food. Top area chefs will create gourmet appetizer, entree, and dessert bites using McDonald's ingredients. The fundraiser will support Sharp's STEAM-based educational program serving thousands of urban elementary students in 47 Milwaukee, Waukesha, and Racine schools. For tickets, visit sharpliteracy.org. Keep your business safe, secure, and spotless with the Omega Security Guard and Cleaning Team. Proudly located in Milwaukee and female-owned, Omega delivers professional security and tailored cleaning services to meet your needs. Whether it's event security or a custom cleaning plan, their dedicated team goes above and beyond to exceed your expectations. Because at Omega, they're not just your service provider, they're your partner in peace of mind. Contact Omega Security Guard today or online at omegasecurityguard.com. Omega Security Guard and Cleaning, protecting what matters most.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Here is Tori Lowe with his truth.
As I reflect on my journey, I'm reminded of God's blessings and guidance. I've been fortunate enough to accomplish some remarkable feats, including walking 750 miles from Milwaukee to Washington, D.C. in honor of the Civil Rights Movement. I also walked against violence from Milwaukee to Chicago and back for 7 consecutive years. My feet are still recovering, but my spirit remains strong. I've been privileged to advocate for victims of police brutality, search for missing persons, and participate in numerous protests. Last year, I was honored to visit the White House with my colleagues from 1017 The Truth to discuss pressing issues in the Black community with the Biden administration. Throughout my broadcasting career, I've received several first-place Wisconsin Broadcast Association awards for The Tori Lowe Show. I've also had the opportunity to be part of ESPN 94.5's Packer pregame show at Lambeau Field. As I look back, I am grateful for the incredible journey. Salute to my brothers and sisters on the front lines. And thank you for your tireless efforts and dedication. We're in this together, and I could not have done anything without the love and support of my community. I want to remind you to keep pushing forward, stay vigilant, keep your head on a swivel. Green don't always mean go, and look both ways before you cross the street. And always look out for one another. In 2025, we still got a lot of work to do. God bless you, and I love you.
This has been Truth Takes on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Tori Lowe Show weekdays from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Nazir Spencer. The Milwaukee Brewers are on a rough stretch, dropping their second straight game to the Cleveland Guardians Tuesday night, 2-0. The offense has been blanked 4 times in May, with the bats continuing to struggle and staying battle-tested.
We've kind of squandered because we're off to such a great start last year, and we never had to worry. You know what I mean? Well, we did, but you know what I'm saying? By this time, we were off and running and 4 or 5 game lead probably, and things felt good. You know, these young guys were believing, and it was fun.
Milwaukee now sits at 20-23 on the season, trailing the first-place Cubs by 5 games in the NL Central. They'll try to avoid the sweep Wednesday afternoon before heading back to Milwaukee. The sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're looking at Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Let me get through here. Mice droppings are in itself hazardous. Yeah. Wayne said Pulaski's a stone's throw away from St. Luke's, a bunch of commercial business on 27th Street. Absolute tragedy in building management. I guess that's why they fired the director of facilities. Sir Chon said, yep, Dr. Ken, I can see No, we're not going to read that. No, we're not going to read that. We are not reading that. Ann said Biden answered every question at the debate. Trump couldn't. What debate did you watch? You got to be tripping, dude. After the debate is when they switched because he did so bad. What? Anyway, Mal the Elephant said, I'm late for class. Yeah, you is. Miles said, we waiting for Jesus, Dr. King. Yeah, you might. And say, I think you and Sherwin should do a show with Tori and Liz. We already do. It's on every day from 7 a.m. till 6 p.m. Anyway, I know I'm being silly. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Black toxic masculinity. That's probably one of the dumbest phrases I've ever heard in my entire life. Change entertainment and take responsibility for ours and habits, people. Why don't you individually take advantage of you? That might actually work better. I'm just saying. I mean, it's just me, but, I'm just saying.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, Gruber Law Offices and The Truth have raised the stakes for this year. The One Call That's All Gruber Cash Giveaway is now a $5K giveaway. Yes, you heard it right. $5,000 giveaway. Every weekday on 1017 The Truth, you will have the chance to be entered to win the $5K giveaway. Listen to The Truth for the One Call That's All cue to call for your chance to win $5,000. Gruber Law Offices, One Call That's All. Visit 1017thetruth.com for official contest rules.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
Hey everybody, it's Melanie Ricks. You all know I love supporting a local team. That's why I'm excited to tell you about UW Credit Union. They've been serving Wisconsin for over 90 years. And when I was in school, they helped me learn how to plan for my future and make my money grow. Even now, they're still always there for me when I have questions, and they'll be there for you too. So stop by any of their 13 Milwaukee area branches or visit uwcu.org to become a UW Credit Union member today, like me. Federally insured by NCUA.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They treated me like family.
They're actually people that you can depend on.
They made me feel seen. They really treated me like I was a part of their family, a part of their team.
They ask how you're doing, how you're feeling.
They're just so welcoming and so sweet and kind.
It's like family, caring about another member of the family.
If you've been injured, it costs you nothing to see if Gruber Law Offices can help.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
For general contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Y'all done made it a long day. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. I just wanted to pass some information on. You remember Fred Johnson, who was the vice president and Wisconsin manager for Erie Insurance. The entire Erie Insurance family, along with friends, colleagues, and community members across Wisconsin and beyond, are mourning the tragic loss of Fred Johnson, a dedicated branch manager, esteemed leader, and beloved friend. He was a great friend of mine and us here at 1017 The Truth. His passing has created a profound void in the hearts of those who knew him. So we want to say to his family, we're praying for you. He just won 40 under 40 here in Milwaukee, so he'll be very missed, and it's quite the tragedy. So prayers go out to his family. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. The analysis is coming up next. I will see you on Friday. I am taking a well-deserved day off on tomorrow, so I'll see you on Friday. God bless. Take care. Thank you, Glenn. Appreciate you, brother. God bless. Take care. See you in 22, 44 hours. I'm out.
Be quiet.